You can
but
go
in shape
between the
and
two.
lean. Huh?
And you can go between the two weights.
Yeah, that'd be cool. How cool would it be if we closed that gap? You know, from light heavyweight to heavyweight is the biggest gap in the sport, right? The 220-pound weight class, that makes a lot of sense. That would open up a whole different can of danger, don't you think?
Yeah, interesting.
It'd be real interesting.
So John, now knowing that DC is going to fight longer than March, which we originally thought, you're saying if in a perfect world, DC's on the table, Brock's on the table, you can pick which one. Dana says, bro, we like both these. Which one do you take?
I take Brock Lesnar. I take Brock Lesnar only because he brings in a whole different audience, and people have already seen me make DC cry twice already. So, you know, I got nothing against this guy. Let him have his heavyweight dominance. You know.
John, was it actually Conor McGregor that inspired you to look for those money-making opportunities, or was it just the fact you're out of the cage for so long and you need to make up the money that you missed?
Oh, no. Financially, I'm doing all right, man. You know, not to sound like that, but I'm doing all right. It's just, you know, Conor really introduced, you know, what talking can do and what asking can do. You know what I mean? Oftentimes, I don't think the fighters realize that without the fighters, it's not much of an organization. And I just feel like if you feel like you know your worth, and if someone wants to have you step outside of your comfort zone to do something, they should make it comfortable for you. You know, they should make it worth your while.
John, this quick turnaround is pretty exciting to see a guy of your caliber back so quickly. Is this something that we might see more of? I mean, do you feel like you could do this again?
You know, normally I have normally my feet are really swollen after fights. I'm a heavy kicker. I run into a lot of things, but I fight through it during the fight. As soon as my adrenaline comes down, I can barely walk or put on a dress shoe. If that's not the case this fight, and I walk away unscathed, then I like to fight, you know, every quarter. That's the goal, man. As long as my body can hold up, I want to stay really active and just really make up for lost time. I feel like my fans, the few that I have left, have been so loyal and just so supporting and loving, and just to get back out there and just let them wear their Jon Jones t-shirts again with pride and be like, you know, this is why I support him in the bad times. You know, I just want to make up and give them a lot of content and give them a whole bunch of aha moments with their friends. You know, that'll be cool for me.
Does fighting more actually put a lot of these things in the past behind? The more that you're in the cage, the less we'll talk about the things that happened before.
I think eventually. I just think Americans they like to see a good comeback story, and me fighting definitely helps distract some of the things that's happened in my life. But really, you know, people just like to see a good comeback story. So I try to be that comeback story by just doing better and continue to win.
It's been a little over a month since the commission and since, you know, everything was settled with that. Are you made a statement, but you didn't take any questions. Are you happy with the result of that? And also, do you think the commission needs to change the way they're doing some things to keep fighters from being out so long?
Yeah, you know, I'm really happy with the way everything's gone down. In a position that, how do I answer that? I'm just happy with where I'm at right now. You know what I mean? I'm getting drug tested like every other athlete, way more than most athletes, and it's just a good position to be in. You know, it just shows that I have nothing to hide, and mainly I'm just really excited to be back in the flow of fighting so much.
You were joking about, you know, the fans you have left, obviously, but what is the reaction you get, you know, on an everyday basis? I'm sure people are good to you, but do you get a lot of negative feedback still? Do you still get those?
You know, in person, people are so supportive and so loving. Over the internet, you know, over the internet, people can. The power of the internet. You know, you guys are journalists. You guys know how it is. You guys write a column and you put your whole life into it and all your energy and love into it, and then people will say, "Oh, you suck," or "Oh, that was a terrible story." You know, it's just something we live with, being the people that are in the forefront. You know.
So I know you used to read a lot of stuff. Do you still?
I still do. Yeah, not as much, but yeah, I still do for sure. I like to know kind of the consensus.
Why?
I'd be lying if I said I didn't care at all what people thought. But I do care a lot less what the negative people are saying, for sure. I try to focus on the positive.
You used to, you know, slide into people's comments.
I'll still slide in the DM now.
I mean, so that's not something, like, you're still like, hey, listen, this is who I am, that's what I'm going to do, I enjoy doing it.
Yeah, every once in a while, it just feels good to put things in perspective with some people that are hating on you.
You just don't feel like I'm way above. Like I've accomplished so much. I'm way above that.
I never feel like I'm way above anybody. No, I've been through too much, man. I mean, just this summer I was super depressed. You know, my mom had died and stuff like that. It brought me to the ground. It brought me to my knees. You know what I mean? So, and, you know, growing up with absolutely nothing and just, you know, I'm 100% Jonathan Jones that came out a long time ago. I have some success and fame, but that comes and goes, man. It don't make you anything really.
Do you embrace your story then? I mean, like you've been through a lot. It's hard times. It put you through a lot.
I embrace it.
It made you what you are.
Yeah, I embrace it because it's the only story I know. And if I don't embrace myself and what I'm going through, then you can't. You know, if you don't embrace it, first of all, you can never get to a point where you love yourself. And if you don't love yourself, you just poison to be around. You know what I mean? So I always try to smile and reflect my best energy because I owe it to myself. And that's the best we can do in life.
When did that happen?
It's been a process. You know, it's been a process. Just really learning to accept yourself. You know, and realizing that at the end of the day, everyone has piece of shit qualities. I'm just a lot of people know about mine. You know,
What are yours? In your own words, what are yours?
My piece of shit qualities?
Yeah.
Come on, Brad. I think my main thing was originally just liking to party too much. You know, being an idiot behind the wheel. I think that's been one of my worst downfalls. You know, if you think about some of the trouble I've got into, it's not like I've ever robbed anybody or beat up somebody or done anything crazy like that or used my, you know. It's been like drinking and driving, honestly, and I've eliminated that. I have a full-time security guard on the weekends when I tend to go out the most, and I've just taken that out of the equation.
Pico-sized blessings. That was a good tweet.
Pico-sized blessings? Did I say that?
Yeah,
No,
you
I
did.
didn't say that.
You did.
Pico-sized blessings? How did I word
Somebody
it?
running your account for you?
Wait a minute. Where'd you see that?
It was recent. It was like recently, a couple days ago. Someone said, "I'm not blessed." And then someone said, and then you responded to them, "You are blessed, you are this, you are that, et cetera, et cetera." And then someone tweeted to you, "They're Pico-sized blessings." And you said, "Now you're starting to get it."
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah,
Was that you?
I've decided to. Well, I probably did do it, but I'm always up to something wild. I've decided to take the power out of that word completely. You know what I mean? It's like if people knows it bothers you, then they're gonna continue to hound you and hound you and hound you with it. And I've decided to say, hey, at the end of the day, you know, Picograms, you know, the doctors and the scientists, they were able to prove that I've never taken anything that's given me any performance-enhancing benefits. And so when you know that, and you know the fans know that, then anything else is just trolling. And so I've taken the power out of that whole idea, and now I'll make fun of myself about it.
It's kind of a weird thing to know that, like the commission has said that they plan to release your results, and there's a good chance that there will be a picogram in there, and then it's just the story again. Like
it's just a story at this point. You know, a lot of times the only thing that sucks about it is oftentimes the fans don't click on the link. They'll just see the headline: Jon tests positive again. You know, capital again, all caps. And it just sucks that most of the fans aren't going to click on the link and actually read that this has been an occurring, you know, ongoing thing, and it's actually the same situation, just broken up into different fights. It doesn't bother me at this point, no. It's just when you learn to just realize that you can't control everybody else's emotions and the way they view you, and you got to learn to an extent not to just care. You know, as long as I'm taking care of my family and my close friends and making this money for my future, everything's gonna be okay. Everything else, you know, just be the best guy you can be, really.
Do you have any resentment for the time lost?
No, I don't. I don't have any resentment. Everything happens for a reason, and hopefully through my situation, this will be able to help fighters in the future.
John, when you talk about that third DC fight at heavyweight, do you have a figure in mind?
Figure in mind?
Yeah,
That would
that
be
the UFC.
nice. No, I don't want to show my hand. You know, I'm sure the UFC will be like, he said what for this fight? But you know, it would have to make some sense. You know, the UFC, we just got brought for what, $4 billion.
4.2.
4.2. So the money's there. You know, just take care of some of us guys.
Well,
I've been loyal for a long time.
What do you think the interest is in a third fight? Like if you're asking for a certain amount, it's because you think the fight is worth something,
Yeah,
right?
the
What do you
fight
think that? Why do you think that fight is so valuable?
Well, the reason why I think it would cost more for me is because Daniel Cormier is considered by most people by some people I should say. It's the greatest of all time. And to fight the greatest of all time while he's weighing 30 pounds bigger, more than you, it's dangerous, no matter who you are. And so I would want to make it worth my while, because ultimately my health is on the line.
About this fight, I feel like I haven't seen you do many interviews, John, and I haven't seen you in the media. I haven't seen like. Is that something you're avoiding? Do you not really want to do media ahead of your fights?
So far, I've done everything they've asked me to do.
Huh.
Yeah, they've asked me to do. I guess they haven't asked me to do that much this time. I'm just doing what I gotta do until I get my hands on Anthony.
You brought up greatest of all time. Demetrius Johnson just recently lost, and he was considered, possibly, if not, if it wasn't you, it was him. Do you think there's any question now that you're not the greatest of all time?
I think I've given up on the idea of wanting to be the greatest of all time, because greatness can vary in so many ways. Like, people can call you great because you speak well, or you carry the sport well, or you're charitable, or you maybe you're their certain religion they want you to be or not be. So greatness is a very opinion-based thing. I want to be the most dominant fighter that's ever existed. And so far, I'm well underway with dominance.
So if the standard is who you fought, who you've beat, is there any question in your mind about you?
I hate questions that set me up to just sound arrogant, But I really don't think there's any question. No. I think the way I finish people and the resume, I don't think it can be disputed. Who would you guys think has the closest resume as far as beating as many champions that I've beaten and finishing champions, and at the young age that I was doing it, and continue to do it? Yeah, So.
John, you said you're over the peak. John, you said you're over the picogram stuff, but what about at press conferences when people make like cocaine jokes and stuff like that?
Cocaine jokes? Yeah. I mean, it happens, man. At the end of the day, it happens, man. I was young, man. You give a kid several $1 million and a Bentley, and you start meeting all types of successful people and party people, and I realized that in a certain culture is a lot more normal than what people may realize. And it happened, I was never a cocaine addict, but it happened, And I'm sure a few of you guys holding these microphones have taken a snort or two. So shit happens, man. At the end of the day, you can't beat yourself up. The crappiest thing about it is that my kids are gonna know about it one day, and I'll have to explain that to them. But for anybody else, it's like, you all got your demons. You guys are watching Pornhub or doing whatever the hell you guys are doing at home. So I'm not letting nobody judge me too hard.